Okay, I have been looking forward to this all day, all week actually. Ally, welcome.
Thank you, Terri. I'm happy to be here.
Oh my gosh, what a great interview this is going to be, because I met you when you were born, I think. Born in the industry, right? Born in the industry. Where'd you go to school, Al?
I went to Kaskaskia College in Centralia.
Okay. And then what happened after that? How long have you been a hairdresser now?
So this would be my 14th year.
Ooh! And tell me how you made the decision to join Hollywood Hair.
Well, the decision was made for me because I'm not good at making choices. I'm everything. So my teacher said, you really have to go check out Hollywood Hair. I think you'll fit in there. I think you'll love them. I did my salon visitation day there. And oh my gosh, I think I did a manicure on some bridal party that was in, and I didn't expect to be doing anything. And Sonia says, hey, can you do this manicure on these clients? We've got a party here. Come on. So got my things. We did it. And I just acted like I was one of the team.
There's something that I must compliment you on. You know, my favorite expression is your energy introduces you even before you speak. And I think there's probably 10 people in my life to come to mind immediately when I say that. And you're one of them. I mean, when you walk in, your energy, your staff, I mean, sometimes you're quiet because you decide to be quiet, but your energy is absolutely contagious. And I think that that's why your guests have enjoyed you. That's why your team has enjoyed you. So tell me about building, and then we'll go into other choices that you've made, but what was it like building your reputation?
I would say consistency and having the right people in my team. You know, knowing PSC and being with Hollywood Hair for so long, I feel like I'm just one of the crew. It's just become who I am and how I present myself. And I think that having the right people in my circle has really helped to shape me professionally and personally.
How long did it take you to build as a successful hairdresser?
You know, Terri, I woke up today and it's been 14 years. So I want to say overnight, but I know it was a strong 2 to 3 years. But I got really lucky because where I was at, there was a stylist that was going on maternity leave and I was there. So I was able to take on some of her clients and start building that way. I wasn't scared to say no. Even if I didn't know how to do something, I'll do it.
I'll do it.
Yeah, I've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. I think that's the best mindset that I've had.
Are you witnessing, and I'm jumping ahead for a second, but are you witnessing that fear is getting in the way of the people you're training now? You just said, I have nothing to lose, everything to gain. You've got to lean into the opportunity. But what are you finding with the young people you're training now?
I do think fear, yes, but fear is really just a fight or flight, right? So it's determining what's going to happen next. I do think that. And I come off very strong. So sometimes my energy is very, whoa.
Oh, yeah, mine too.
Right.
Well, I think what's happening today is the demand of yourself because of social media, the demand of yourself to be successful quickly is pressure people are putting on themselves. I mean, while I was building my reputation in business, I didn't have social media to post how I was doing. I didn't have to hide because I was only performing in front of my team. People are hiding now because they're performing in front of the world. In their eyes, social media. I mean, I don't care how you do it, just do it. But you decided also, let's jump back again. Squirrel moment. Let's jump back again. When did you become an educator?
I became an educator. It's been, I think, 6 years.
I think longer than that. Don't you think?
Could be. You know, I auditioned to do it. I didn't make it the first time. And I was like, I still want to do this. I practice what I preach. Let's go. So maybe 8, but we had out, and of course.
So why didn't you give up?
because it's what I wanted to do. It was going to make me a better person, a better speaker, a better stylist, a better teammate, and now owner. I come from a place of knowledge and wisdom, and that's where I've gotten trust from the people that I've been training.
Was Sonia, your owner, Sonia Gettinger, was she an educator before you?
Absolutely. Yes.
And was she the one urging you on to do it?
I believe so. Her and Barry both.
See, and you know, this is when I say, get your committee involved. Sonia is definitely on your committee. Barry is. And so let's go back. Hollywood Hair had one location. You were very successful there. Your owner said, you know what, I'm going to open another one. And then she opened a third. So now Hollywood Hair has 3 locations. And then at one point, she presented you and a couple of your counterparts an opportunity. Talk about that.
You know, we want her to retire one day, and I think she does too. So we have always treated, there's myself, Jessica Friels, and Abby Jones. So we are her other business partners in this adventure. And I think she realized that we always treated it like it was our own business. Every client was ours and everything above and beyond. So she said, you know what, you all bring something different to the table. When we move forward with another salon, let's do this together, because we see the need and you guys all fit. We've got Jessica and Abby are our cupcake girls. So they're our sweethearts. And I think it's great that I'm a mini Sonia, because I just kind of lead with a strong fist. I know where we're headed. I know where we're going, but I like to have fun while we do it. So we all bring something different to the table, and it was a perfect relationship to have moving forward for 2 and 3.
So how have you grown as an owner, as an educator? What did your educator background add to the ownership circle? I'm going to have a sip of tea.
You know what? It added a lot of key players. So I could watch and study other educators in their salons, whether they were owners or stylists or who they played with, even with some of the bigger wigs, you know, Robert and Mary, and what they're doing with their career path. So that has really helped. And it also, let's be honest, it boosts what you do behind the chair, because you are so much more knowledgeable of so many things, and you've seen it, you've done it. So I wouldn't not want to do it. I would recommend it to everyone that feels
I think it's a big deal. You know, I think back, you know, I'm a wannabe hairdresser. I've told you that 5 million times. And if I would have been an educator, I also would have known I would have been a salon owner. I would have had a collection of salons. And during my growth, I would have been an educator. It wouldn't have even crossed my mind not to. And what gave you the confidence to lean in? You know, when I'm going to go back, you know, I watch American Idol and The Voice. Obviously I do, because I'm also an entertainer wannabe. But I think that I admire the people when they say, you're not ready yet, come back. Now, they heard they're not ready yet on national TV, right? National TV. You are not good enough yet. And some people would hear, you're not good enough. They would only hear it that far. They wouldn't hear the yet, right? How did you hear that you're not good enough yet? How did you hear that when you tried out to be an educator?
You know, I just don't give up easy. I'm a creature of habit. I want something to keep going for it.
Me too. And, you know, when someone says, you know, and I was talking about this with somebody, I went home to my high school reunion, which I go back, right, because I love where I grew up. And every reunion, whether it was my 10, 20, 30, 40, that's it, 40, people have come up to me and said, you know, I wanted to be a cheerleader so much when I was growing up. I said, why didn't you do it? You never even tried. You didn't know you couldn't. And they said, I said, why didn't you tell me? I would have helped you. And that's when, if I were you in your salon, how many of you want to grow? How many of you have the aspiration of being an educator? How many of you want to be an owner someday? And they might even raise their hand like this, right? You have to say, I will help you. Just tell me. Because you and I didn't have to have someone push us. We had that in us, but other people have to be pushed and almost create a wannabe educator circle, you know? So I'm so proud of that, but I have watched you grow in your presence, not your energy you've always had. People aren't going to touch you when it comes to energy, but when it comes to presence and commanding the stage and showing confidence. I mean, that's one of the things that a lot of hairdressers you're teaching right now are missing right now. Aren't they missing the confidence?
Absolutely.
I mean, we're doing a class for your salon in a week or so. And I'm going to talk about presence, huge. And I'm going to trust you to be on the other side of it, helping me bring that out in people because they don't know that knowledge isn't enough.
Their technical skill, from what I see, is great, really. When they come from any of the schools that we get students or future professionals from, with the confidence that they're not sure what they're mixing, they're not sure, and having a strong consultation, and they're missing all of those marks that start the service to create the relationship for success.
Oh, elaborate on that, because it's not technical, right?
Technical's great. You know, you can always do a crazy haircut and style it wonderful and just kiss every hair on their head and make them feel wonderful, and they'll never know if it was a good or a bad haircut, right?
Right.
What else you do? What are the extra things that you do? Are you asking them? It's been a crazy world. We all know that lately. So what are you asking them? How are you? Shannon, one of our stylists, just said that yesterday, and she got a raving review on Facebook to a private Scott Air Force Base page that we get a lot of clients from. And she just simply asked, how are you? How can I make you happy today? And the client wrote a review about that. I don't even know if her hair turned out great. Of course,
well, yeah, her hair could have been gone. But here's the other thing about that. I can remember having a spa service and they said, are you comfortable? Can I make you more comfortable? All of those are connection. It wasn't about, if you think it's about the facial, or if you think it's about the touch, yes, it is, but it's not the thing that's going to absolutely be remembered. And that's what I love about creating contact with people is right now, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Right now, people don't, the social skills, it's what's missing.
I agree.
So therefore, the consultation is going to be a weakness. I gave this example with Gino, I think, if you heard it, like on The Voice, blind auditions, they turn around because they go, wow, she can sing. Mm-hmm. So they turn around. Then they start to watch the singer and they go, oh, she can't sell it. Mm-hmm. So I use that analogy so much because what you're seeing is they can sing technically.
Absolutely.
They can't sell it. How are you coaching that right now?
Mainly leading by example and trying to do these events just like what we are going to do with you soon. We've done all the technical trainings that we can do in the salon. We've got our coaching crews that we work on the spot. But now it's more interpersonal. How can we help you with your mind and your body and your spirit to make for sure that you're okay, to be a great service provider? That's bigger than anything right now. And being confident playing.
But Ally, how do they not take that personally? Because they think, maybe in school, they think it's the technical side. I mean, you get accused of hurting their feelings, right? I do too. You know, but here's a question I always ask. How hard can we be to bring out the greatness in you? How bad do you want it? And if you do, I'm not going to let you fail. Mm-hmm. So, and what people can say when you're in the room is, I'm never going to have that personality. I'm not asking you to have it. I'm asking you to make eye contact with the guest and say, how are you? And be all about you. They don't know how to do that very much.
I'm so concerned, but I love to break those barriers. So I know you've said it, when you're within arm's reach of someone, you have to say hello.
Exactly.
I'm still a toucher. I'll still, hello, how are you?
Me too. You know, I was walking into a college, and I must have crossed, you know, while I was walking up, 20 people. And I said, I'm going to say good morning to everyone. I want to see if anyone says good morning to me first. Nobody, not one person. This isn't just a industry problem. This is a world problem. And, you know, I was raised in a small town where there were no strangers and we all greeted each other properly. Now it's a world of very, I can't imagine walking down the grocery store aisle and not making eye contact and saying hello to who I come in contact. How do you walk around and act like there's not other people in your world? But you see that in salons. Tell me about their consultations. Are they just very surface, or what are they that you're witnessing?
No, I just think they're missing so much. They get so focused on, I've got this much time for this guest, and then I have another one, or I have nothing. So here, when you don't have time, we always say you could see a lot less clients and do more better, you know, 200 clients at most right now. So I think they're just barely scratching the surface, not sometimes focusing on any upsells. Clients right now, this is their safe space. They would be more than willing to trust you with all of their money, as long as you make them feel beautiful, whether it's a lady or a gentleman. So giving them the opportunities. Did you ask them if they wanted some more volume or length in their hair? Because that's huge for us right now. Deep conditioning treatments. What are your goals for summer? Are you traveling somewhere? You know, how can you take me with you with your hair?
But you make it sound so easy, Ally, but you've worked on it.
I've worked on it and I've studied it. Thankfully, for knowing my circle of people and being with my second mama, Sonia, I've gone to restaurants, I've gone to experiences, and we've done those things where I've seen how it's like to be ladies and gentlemen, serving ladies and gentlemen, like you say. And that's how I want to be treated. So why would I not want to treat everyone else like that?
Exactly. So what are the 3 things you're focusing right now on developing talent?
Dialogue, confidence, and I would say chairside manner, which really is all the same. But if they can do this, we have to practice what this is doing. And
so you didn't say haircut, you didn't say color, right? You didn't say those things, because that's not the weakness.
No.
I love that. And I love that. I hope they are hearing that from you loud and clear, because that's a gift you're giving them. If you can teach people how to walk in a room or have a conversation one-on-one with a stranger, and the ability to romance what we do, you're unstoppable in my estimation. Right?
Absolutely. That's what it takes in any industry.
What did you risk? What did you risk to be what you are now? I just don't look at it like that. I don't want to sound not genuine, but I don't look at it like that. I put all my eggs in this basket because I know that I can get out of it what I put into it. If anything, I've risked sanity because I don't stop. We're on the phone all morning, all evening, in the salon all day, giving myself. But thankfully, I have a really good work-life balance. I have a wonderful partner at home. So we love to share our stories about working with people and the relationships we had that day. What does he do?
He has his own family business, like amusements, so poker machines and pool tables and those kind of things.
How do your stories complement each other when you're talking?
It's people. They have a sign on their door that says, rule number 1, if we don't take care of the client, someone else will. Bingo. So it's the same thing. It's the relationships that you make and you keep.
It doesn't matter. I always have said business is business and service is service. It doesn't matter the product. It matters how you make people feel in your environment. How has it been to watch someone that you've taken that was really raw coming in? And what's your best case study right now to talk about a person that you've watched grow in the Hollywood Hair organization?
Well, I'm going to say Jennifer, our front desk coordinator, everything. You know, we had grown up together. We went to cosmetology school about the same time. We lived together. We did a little crazy thing together all the time. You know, that was just our buddies. So seeing how she's transformed into really our lead go-to person for everything, that's been very, very cool. You can see the way that she speaks to the clients, like she's all customer service friendly, related. And she doesn't have that background in business management or school. It's just all things that we've been taught from our wonderful mentors and knowing how we want to keep elevating. So
she didn't want to do hair, Ally?
You know what? She has her cosmetology license, but she just didn't love it. I think it's because she's a little short and it was hard to do like long layers. She's going to kill me for saying that. But
yeah, right.
But no, she found her fit, and I don't want to know what we would ever do without her.
Yeah, found her fit. And I think is so true, but some people don't even know what they're looking for.
I think it's scary. You said it earlier, how going into the world that we are now, you're comparing everything to what you see on Instagram. And is that reality? No. I know you and Gino talked about this, and I hear it all the time. So it's making what your reality is and putting that out there and sharing your story. So it's so hard right now because we are in comparison mode when really you've got green grass right where you are. Brag about it.
Yes, look at the positive energy you bring. What are you working on in 2021?
We are working on another salon location.
Number 4?
Number 4.
You didn't tell, no one's told me this.
Okay, well, it just came up in the last 14 days.
Okay, if you say it, is it going to be near me, I hope?
What else are we working on? You know what? We are working on building our team to get more stylists, more front desk, and just like everyone else, we have clients waiting to be taken care of, and sometimes we don't have enough service providers.
You know, when I think about Hollywood Hair, the commitment Sonia and all of you, the team, has made is to be a teaching organization. Mm-hmm. You will build talent. Now, I can remember when I was with Pillsbury, and gosh, we would beg our people, sell more wine and upgrade your ticket. And they would all go, they didn't care. And then we said, we're going to help you make more money. We've asked you to do it. Now we're going to make you make more money our way. Mm-hmm. Right? And boy, did they fight us at first? Sure, but they loved it at the end of the night. Like, woo, look at us. We're doing great. So when you look at Hollywood Hair is teaching people to be successful the Hollywood Hair way. And what's the bad thing, let me get comfortable. The bad thing about that is if you take them right out of school, they don't know what it's like out there in other places, perhaps, right? And you have created this story of success. How are we able to help them? My mind's going everywhere. If you can't tell, my eyes are probably darting. How are we able to teach them that it's probably 2 or 3 years before they'll be completely successful, just like you did, 2 or 3 years? The trouble is they don't want to wait 2 or 3 years.
No. I feel they get very just detoured because they're comparing even the salon, what's in their chair to like me or one of our legacy stylists like Josh. We've got a lot of great rising stars that are not 1 to 2 years, but they're in that 3, 4, 5-year mark, and they're accelerating so well. They're staying consistent with their guest count, their reschedule rate, their ticket. And they're the ones that are doing really great, but I think they're in comparison mode. You know, they're just kind of in the middle.
What were the conditions 14 years ago that you knew it was part of the process for success, and now they just want it so fast. That's where I struggle with. And I give the example, people will say, I want to be Stephanie Kachowski. Okay. Do you know her story? Do you know how many hours a week she worked? Do you know what she did? Yeah, I don't want to do that. Then you don't want to be Stephanie Kachowski, right? I mean, I just think it's that simple.
Mm-hmm.
And they look at it as I see success in here, I want to join it, but I'm not willing to wait for it.
Mm-hmm.
And all they have to do is sharpen the saw and really study. If I worked there, I'd be studying Ally, I'd be studying Josh, I'd be studying the girls, I'd be studying Sonia, and they walk around in a fog.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We got to get the young people willing to pay the price. You join the Army, you're not a general the first day. You still have to go to boot camp.
Right. Mm-hmm.
How are you patient with that? Because that's not my strength. I'm not patient with the people that don't want to put the sweat equity into something.
I'm with you, but we talk it over with our leadership team. And again, we figure out how we can soften this. That's one thing we're working on in 2021 is softening. So we're not so aggressive. So we can really relate to what's going on. What are our teammates interested in their life outside of work? So that way we can make their work life reflect or, balance that with their goals.
What's the hours that they want to work now? I saw a little smirk.
Yeah, we're all on the schedule for 32 hours a week, and we see quite a few that want less than that.
Wow. Come on. This is where I think people talk out of both sides of their mouth. Mm-hmm. Come on, I worked 80 hours in my 20s. I'm not asking you to do that. I mean, that's like George Washington crossing the ocean. But 32, I told Gino this, I could have had 3 jobs. Mm-hmm. And they really come to you and say, can I work less?
We have a few, and we have to figure out why is that? Is it what we found is maybe they're wanting another job somewhere else to supplement their income, which there in turn doesn't work out when we're trying to grow them here.
Is it 1 o'clock?
No. No.
Who is it? Is it Sonia?
No, it's Alyssa, our front desk girl in Maryville. It's wonderful. Okay. She's ready to open.
See, ready. So tell me, when you think about this, I mean, even how can I help? How can I help with that? Or am I getting too old to help? Are they looking at me like, you don't understand?
You mean you personally, Terri?
Yeah, me personally. I mean, I'm going to be with your team in a week. Are they looking at me, are those 20-year-olds looking at me like, you were the oldest person in the United States of America, right? I make it sound easy, but then they can kind of dismiss it because I'm older. I hope to God my message still holds true, that you can be whatever you want to be.
It does. And you solidify that in your stories of your team training and watching your table turnovers and talking about your trophies. All of those are so relatable. And I know we've heard them 100 times, but we still hear it differently depending where we're at. And we have a lot of
wherever you are at the time, right?
Yes. Yes.
Ally, I'm going to put you on the spot. What are your strengths?
Strength. Okay. I am determined to get something done, and it's hard to deter me from something once I know that this is what we're working towards.
Hey, if you have to move furniture at home, do you wait till he gets home or do you move it?
Oh, yeah, I'm going for it.
I am too. Steve's come home and said, how did that get over there? Because I'm moving it. He said, you did that by yourself? Yes, I figured it out with a towel. I don't know what I use. Right? And if I can, I'm going to do it. So determination, absolutely. Go ahead.
just a can-do attitude. Never say no. Let's do this. I'd rather do it together with everyone else than by myself, because that's not fun.
Good. Give me another one.
I'll try to outwork anyone that I can that I'm around. I'm competitive.
So what are your opportunities? What are your opportunities? What are you working on right now that needs sharpened?
Did I sell you on those strengths? Because I don't know that I sold myself. I had to think about that.
I sold me because I know you. You sold me, and I agree with you 100%.
Okay, thank you, Terri.
You're welcome. What am I working? What are you working on? What are your opportunities or / weaknesses?
Recruitment. I want to recruit people because I want to find our next rising stars, our next McKinseys, our next Caitlin.
But let's change that word. Change that word to scout. I've said it to you before. You've got to scout. I mean, if you look at athletics, they scout. They want to be around and watch the people that, pass the eye test. Like, ooh, this got the Hollywood hair energy to it. So scouting, maybe you've got to create, just like, how do I want to say, in your consultation, you've mastered your dialogue, you've got to master your scouting dialogue, right? And it's funny when I would go to Cole's games and they would say, there's a scout in the audience. Because they built a reputation as a strict scout, you want to create that reputation in the schools that you go in, that Hollywood Hair, they're here today, they're in the house. They are a great scouting organization. That's what you want to be known for, right? That they scout out talent. And I've said, give them a gold ticket or give them something, the people that pass the eye test that day. It's not just on image, it's energy, watching them, the intensity that they have, their presence. Give them something that you say you're scouting. And what's another thing that they do during, and when you're in high school, parents will start talking, he got 10 letters from colleges. People are looking at him. You want to do that too. You want to say, almost, here's a letter. We treat a trade school like it's not a professional college. It is. It is. You've got many hairdressers outperforming people that have 4-year degrees, right? Okay, so give me another one. What else are you working on, or what's an opportunity or a weakness of yours?
I don't have any.
You don't have any?
That's hard, because I don't always look at myself internally. I always look at how we can move forward. What's a weakness of ours? Because then it always directly reflects back, right? So I would say communication. Just make sure that we've got a solid communication. Yep. We have an excellent teammate, Shiloh, and he is going into, I want to just consider HR. He's working on his master's, and I really don't need to downplay it, because he's going to take over the world one day. He gave us a program that was basically a survey. How do you feel Hollywood Hair supports you emotionally? Do you feel that you can grow professionally, personally? So all of these emotional questions that we all thought, oh my gosh, this is hard. We don't want to answer it, but we ended up all answering it. He gave us a download. He did it actually so he could pass his master's. So what we learned from that is some things that we need to work on are how to be great communicators, how to effectively host more team meetings to make for sure that we're getting more points across, instead of just, here's what's going on for April and May, be there or be square. So just having more effective communication, so that way we're hitting all of the types of personalities that are on the team. So that's a big one.
That's really good. What's another one?
Another one I would say is just continuing to develop more leaders, making sure that we're being able to watch. We're really focusing the 4 owners of us, and then our leadership team, which is Josh, Shannon, Rachel, and Barry, trying to only see so many guests a day so we can really help watch and walk around and help coach and catch our newer stylists in the moment on something that we can bring them to greatness.
I love that. I think about leadership is action. One of the things that I work on probably the last 30 years is, number one, if I'm in a counseling session with someone, I sit next to them to show how I know this is going to be a sensitive topic, so I sit next to them. And the other one is absolutely being there, absolutely being focused on being there. No phone, no interruption, being there so they know they're heard. Mm-hmm. It's listen to understand and speak to be understood. Those are the two things that I constantly work on. And even with our children, you know, sometimes we can answer a question and they needed whole face and we're answering it in passing, right? Sometimes we're answering in passing in a busy salon and they needed our whole face that moment.
Absolutely.
I'm working on that too. What are you most proud of at Hollywood Hair? And of your career and the choices you've made?
Oh, I could tear up right now. It's weird. Oh, I'm just no. Ooh, I'm just to see the growth that's happened and to be surrounded by the people that I am. Ooh, who is this? What are you doing to me? You know, it just makes me so proud. I am just so proud of seeing the growth, the people that we've grown, the lifestyles that they've got to have, the families they've got to create, and just the happiness, the relationships we've made with clients. You can't take that feeling away from anyone. Apparently not me today.
Oh, you too. So when you hear, Ally, for the love of the craft, what does that mean to you? For the love of the craft?
It's just putting your heart and soul into it all. What do you hear?
When I hear the love of the craft, is I hear expert. I hear willingness to, regardless, to be the expert. I hear mastery. You know, when I think of the love of the game, I think of Michael Jordan immediately. You know, I think of the GOAT and the greatest of all time, because his love of the game was so obvious. And so when I work and I think about what I do, whether it's teaching or developing, the love of the game or the love of the craft, it better be so obvious. And if I had to say anything to you, it's you have that. You own the love of the craft. And Hollywood Hair has that. And Sonia has that. And the girls have that. You know, when you have that, I don't think you can be interrupted on what you want to be and what you want to become. I love that. Still best decision you ever made?
Absolutely.
See? And what happens if people say, you know, the jury's still out? They're not all in, right?
No, I do not relate to that at all.
So grit is I'm in this and I'm going to have the grit to make it, right? Mm-hmm. Number 4, I can't even believe it. I'm on the edge of my seat. And I'm going to call Sonia and say, number 4, really? That's how I had to find out during an interview? No, but I'm excited. To witness it is such a blessing. It's a blessing, and it's such a true tribute to what you all are doing. And your steps as a hairdresser, successful. Your steps as an educator, successful. Your steps now in management, leadership, trainer, and now ownership, powerful. Just powerful. And I am, you know, I look at what you've done, and I'm so proud of you, and I admire the greatness in you so much.
Thank you. Wow.
And I hope your team knows that. And boy, the funny side, whether you're doing funny videos with Josh or being dressed up as the old lady, I love her. What's her name?
Mrs. Claus.
Yes, Mrs. Claus. And when you think about all the different characters, yeah, I like to have fun too, but not at the expense of sloppy work, right? If there's room to have fun and we're mastering things and taking it seriously, man, I'm all in. So I know you're like that too.
Absolutely. I don't want to do it. It's not fun.
Yes. Well, but you know what? That serious side of you, people would say, you're not fun today. Well, right.
Yeah. I get that too. Yes.
I get it too. But it's because if someone were to really listen, it's because we're not looking crisp right now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. When you get comfortable, you get messy, right?
Yeah, well, you get sloppy. You absolutely get foolish. And you push to improve, you push to thrive, you push to strive. That's what pushing's all about. Thank you. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I hope people get that anything is possible. Anything. Tell me, last thing, what kind of performance? What's that average ticket looking like for you right now?
Right at 160.
160. In Centralia, you look at Maryville, Shiloh, and in Centralia down south. In Centralia, you would think, what's the population there? 15,000?
A little less, probably.
Right? And $160 average ticket. When you build it and you do it right, they'll find you.
Absolutely.
Right?
Just
they
lean
find
in.
you. And you're killing it. And 32 hours a week, and then leadership. Look at what you're creating. Go get them. Go tackle that world.
We are. With your help.
Thank you, Ally. I'll see you next week, but thank you for sharing this message.
Thank you, Terri. I enjoyed it, and I hope everyone else.
My love to everybody, and hold me accountable next week. Make me do good work.
Can't wait.
All right, sweetie. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.